Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, this is an interview at the New York State Military Museum, Saratoga Springs, New York. It is the 8th of April, 2008, approximately 10:30 a.m. Interviewers are Mike Russert and Wayne Clark. Could you give me your full name, date of birth, and place of birth, please?
Frank Wilwol, and I was born 1/13/30, and I was born in Buskirk, New York.
Okay. What was your educational background before you went into the service?
Before I went in, I finished 8th grade, and then I went in. I don't remember what I did, what I finished, but I did go back to school in the service.
Mm-hmm.
I got the papers for that somewhere.
Now, did you go to school in Hoosick Falls, or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you enlist in the service?
No, you know, they had a special where you could, they would draft you for 14 months. And I thought this wouldn't be bad if I, you know, you can stand anywhere for 14 months. And I got a questionnaire, and they put down, you know, where you working. I put nowhere, and they put down occupation. I put none, and you know, it took 2 days to get my classification back. 1A.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take them long.
Mm-hmm. So it was a special under the draft.
Yeah, that you could go in for 14 months.
So in a way, you volunteered for.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I wanted to go, but I figured this way was, if I really didn't like it, 14 months wasn't that bad.
What year was that?
51.
Now, where did you? You went down to Troy and.
Yeah, we left from Troy.
Mm-hmm. And where did you go from Troy?
Fort Devens, Mass.
Now, was this the first time you were really away from home?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Being away from home?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I didn't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had a lot of guys that really hated it, but I was fine with it. I mean, I stuck my neck out and.
Mm-hmm. Now, how long were you at Fort Devens?
Well, I was in the hospital for a week. The weather was miserable and cold, and we kept going to the range, and we were laying out there in the sleet and freezing rain, and finally we went to Camp Drum. Let's see, it was Camp Drum then. And well, we started at Fort Devens. It was so bad we started basic 3 times. You know, we started from maybe get into it for 3 or 4 weeks, and then there'd be so many guys sick that they'd have to start over. And
What happened to you there?
I had pneumonia.
Pneumonia, okay.
And then I don't know. We didn't really finish, but they shipped us to Camp Drum, and we got up there. We were there the 1st of May, I'm pretty sure it was, and we were out in the field, and they called us back, and they issued us, all of us, mosquito netting, because they said we was going to leave for overseas, and we didn't know where we was going with mosquito netting. Mm-hmm. And they called us out the next morning and took the mosquito netting all back, which was, par for the Army. And the next morning we was on an airplane. They never told us where we was going till we was on the airplane. They said we was going to Reykjavik Island, Iceland. And then I started hating it.
How many were on the plane with you, approximately?
I don't know, but there was a whole company. We went on, I think it was a C-97. It was a big cargo plane.
So you went over there with the entire unit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, you were assigned, you said you were at the 278th Regimental Combat Team?
278th Regimental Combat Team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you went there as a unit. What were your initial thoughts when you landed there?
Oh, we flew in at it was a beautiful airport. And then there was an old British camp that was still there with Quonset huts. And that's what we slept in.
Mm-hmm. Now, you arrived there in the summertime then?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah, because it was daylight till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then it would get dark for an hour, and then the sun would come back up.
was that difficult to get used to?
No, because I wasn't there only about 3 days, and they had these little windows, and my bunk was got under one, and I put a blind on it. And everybody thought that it wasn't long before there was blinds on all of them, because where my bunk was, the sun would shine right through the window right into my face, and that wasn't too good.
Was there still snow on the ground?
No.
Now, what did you do while you were up there? What were your assignments?
Well, what they said what it was that the communists was moving the landing strip lights. Of course, everything's lava, and they were moving the lights off the runway out into the lava fields. I never see it, although while we were there, I never, of course, maybe because was no guard duty until we got there. And
So they claim that
they were moving.
Russians were moving the
Yeah,
landing field
yeah.
lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that wouldn't be good.
No. So basically, this never happened after your unit
No.
arrived.
No.
But prior to that, there were no guard units there.
No, there was no guard duty. There was none there.
Now, what were your daily duties?
Guard duty.
Basically, that's
Yeah.
it. Now, did you have winter clothing? And
Oh,
how long were you up there?
Year.
Now, when you pulled guard duty, were you out in the open or were you?
Oh
in
yeah. Oh yes. What we did pull guard duty at, like they had these old hangars, and they were full of ammunition, and we did pull guard duty on some of those inside. And but boy, I mean, they were made out of roofing tin kind of, and the wind we used to whistle through. It wasn't like being out in the yard. I mean, outdoors though. It would get a snowstorm and the wind would be blowing, and the Quonset huts are about as far apart as these rooms, and if you stepped out your door you couldn't see the other Quonset hut. It would be snowing and blowing so bad.
Were the Quonset huts pretty warm?
Yeah, there was no problem with them
Did you have like a old coal stove in them?
No, they had kerosene pot burners.
Okay.
Why did you hate it up there?
It wasn't what I went in for one thing, and I don't like winter. Not that well.
So you weren't used to it, just even living in Hoosick Falls, it was really different.
No, I probably wouldn't have liked it anyway, because there was no trees where we were, and there was nothing really. I mean, it was just. If like I said, if we'd had a month, I got pictures where we were out in the lava fields, and all I could think of, it was like when oatmeal boils, how the bubbles will boil up and pop. And there would be bubbles like that as big as this room. You could walk right down in them where the lava bubbled up, popped, and set that way. Which was kind of interesting to me, because that's probably the only place you can go to see that stuff.
Now, how did you entertain yourselves when you weren't on duty?
Going to the mess hall, eating, and hoping to sleep before you went out on there, and looking, you was scheduled for another. We had what they called outpost. It was electrical transmission way out in. Way away from camp. You had to go there for 4 days. And when you went out there, it was better. You didn't pull guard duty 2 on, 2 off. You pulled 4 on, 8 off, which was better,
What was the food like?
I had no problem with it.
You had all your own kitchens and...
Yeah, each company had its own kitchen, and no, I had no problem with the food. I mean, yeah, it was pretty good.
Now, did you keep contact with those back at home? write letters, or?
I got one buddy that when we got out, he came to visit me once. And
Well, I mean, when you were there, did you keep in
Oh,
contact
yeah.
with your folks
Yeah.
back at
Oh, yeah.
home?
Yeah, we wrote letters and kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have movies or any sort of entertainment?
I think they did have a theater. I don't think I ever went. I was never much. I'd go to the movies. No, we didn't. We didn't have a theater.
Were you able to go into any of the towns or anything?
Oh yeah, Reykjavik was right where we flew in at, and we could go there. I mean, we went there, you know, just to walk around the streets, and there wasn't nothing fantastic about it. But it was a big city.
Mm-hmm.
They heated almost the whole city with hot water from the
Yes, okay, from the lava.
lava.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did the people treat the Americans that were there?
They were good. I mean, it gave the civilians a lot of jobs that they didn't have otherwise.
Now, what were your officers like?
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Like I said, my one platoon sergeant, he was a full-blooded Indian, and then we had another guy named, we called him Chop Chop. He was only about this tall, I guess, and he was master sergeant. No, we always had good officers. Matter of fact, when we got up there, one came over. He came out of LCS training school, and he was a young kid, and we used to bother him a lot. We'd wait for him to come out of the mess hall, and we'd string all out, because you got to salute every officer, and we would all string out, and he knew what we were doing, you know. He'd salute us, but he'd hold it till he got by us all. He was a good guy. We had a lot of good officers.
Now, did they make you go out on any kind of field maneuvers at all?
Up there,
Yeah,
we didn't have time.
okay.
Now, you said one of the things you enjoyed was driving the big trucks around?
No, I didn't drive one up there.
Oh.
I drove them when I came back.
Oh, okay, after you were up there. All right. Now, you said that one of you had an unusual duty while you were up there. You had to sample beers?
Oh yeah, our Chop Chop came in to get us one day. There was three of us in there. And all right, he said, "You come on, I got a job for you guys." And he wouldn't tell us what it was, so we got over and we kept going, got over to the PX and we went in and, all right, he said, "You guys, I got 20 different brands of beer. We got to sample them and tell them which one we want." And that wasn't too bad. My wife would have loved it.
So what beer did you pick? Do you remember?
I think one of them was Dutch. I'm not sure about that, but I remember the one being Dutch, and that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Now, where did you go after you left Iceland?
We came back and we flew in at, let me see. It was in Massachusetts. Which one was that?
Was it
Westover. We
Westover?
came into Westover.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did the whole company come back together?
No. No, my platoon sergeant, Red Eye, he came home a couple of weeks ahead of me. And then I had one of these buddies. He came home ahead of me. Matter of fact, he came home, went through processing, and then he had a furlough. And then when I got home, got done processing, he was at my house, and him and his wife was at my house.
Now, this was during the Korean War. Were you ever asked about rejoining to go to Korea, or?
No. When I got out, he asked me if I wanted to re-enlist. I said no, and he said okay. No, there was nothing said about it other than that.
Now, what about driving the trucks around?
When we came back, I was down at Camp Rucker, Alabama, and they won't let you sit down, so you got to do something. So I said, well, I'm not gonna walk out and do close order drill in the sand all day. So I went to our first sergeant and I said, I'm going down to the garage and I'm gonna see if I can get my driver's license. He says, you got a driver's license? I said, yeah, but I won't be any good here. And he said, laughed. He said, that's right. So I went down to the motor pool and they took me right on a deuce and a half, and I took my road test on that, and I drove that until there got not to be in our outfit enough guys to truck around, and then I went back and I was in a cadre room with another, our mess sergeant was Corporal, and he said to me, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. He said, come on cooking. I said, they ain't gonna let me go cooking. He said, you're forgetting I'm the mess cook. So I went cooking till it got so that there was nobody, I put it this way, there wasn't enough guys to feed with the number of cooks we had. So then the first morning I fell out and our supply sergeant came out, and well, he was corporal too. And he wanted somebody to work in the supply room. So I volunteered for that, and everybody said, you're crazy, you're going in there and clean rifles. I said, boy, better than what you guys are doing. So I was in the supply room till I got discharged. And
now, how long were you at Camp Rucker?
probably from May until January.
Okay.
I mean, I had to have time to get my driver's license, go in the mess hall, and I was in the supply room for quite a while. I mean, it got so we only had like 18 guys or something like that.
Now what happened to the others?
We were all getting discharged.
Oh, okay.
As they would get discharged, you'd need like less and less cooks. And
Now was anyone from your unit sent to Korea at all?
when I first went in, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We trained with the Tennessee National Guard, and a lot of those guys went to Korea. Some of those were only 16 too.
Mhm. Did you ever think about if you would have wanted to go to Korea?
I did. As a matter of fact, one time when we was overseas, they told me that they had a list on the wall for volunteers to go to Korea, and I went over, and Lieutenant Daniels was our platoon commander. And he said to me, well, you got a family? And I said, yes, sir. He thought about them? I said, yes, sir. Go on back to your hut. You're not going anywhere. We need you here. So that was the end of that. I mean, you didn't argue with those guys, I mean.
Now, where were you discharged?
Camp Rucker, Alabama.
Okay, from there. Now, how did you get back home? A train? or-
Trained, yeah.
Mhm.
They paid my way back.
Mhm, right.
And they paid, now a lot of guys didn't know it, but when I came back, anytime I went by train any place, they paid me extra over the cost of what it cost for the ticket.
Mhm.
I don't know how I found that out, but I did, and I'd go to quartermaster, and you had to make out a form, and they always paid me. They never questioned it, so.
Mhm. Now, were you eligible for the GI Bill at all?
Hmm.
Did you use it?
I think so. Didn't we get a GI Bill alone?
I
For,
don't know,
for a
did-
house?
For through Hudson, was it?
Yeah, that's what that little
That
paper
little
is.
square paper that was
Yeah.
on
This
there.
one?
That's what I had to get for.
No,
Mhm.
I don't know. When we went to Hudson and got that.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Was that under G? I think
Yeah.
that was under,
This thing,
yeah.
maybe?
I'm not sure.
Did you,
Veterans and the
now you
certificate of
returned, you finished your
eligibility.
schooling, some of your schooling while you were in
Mhm.
service? Okay. Now, what kind of work did you do after you left the service?
I got foolish and went farming.
You picked an easy job, huh?
No, I think I picked the lowest paid job I could find. That's what it was.
Mm.
But we grew up on a farm. I mean,
But you did factory work too.
yeah. Well, you know what? I we had 50, 60 cows most of the time, and I had another full-time job.
Mm-hmm. Now, you always lived in Hoosick Falls area?
No. I came to Hoosick Falls when I was 12. We lived in Pitchtown. No,
Raymond.
Ramertown.
Oh, okay.
Out of Ramertown.
So you were born in Eagle Bridge and went to Ramertown, then Hoosick Falls?
Well, there was a few other places we lived, but
Mm-hmm. What kind of changes have you seen happen to Hoosick Falls since you've been there?
oh God, you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine. When we came there, what the heck was his name?
Lawson.
Clausen. Bob Clausen had a store down across where the bridge is, the big bridge,
Mhm.
where the Japanese place is now.
Yeah.
There was more going on down there on Saturday night than there is all of Hoosick Falls now. He sold everything. He sold John Deere equipment, household stuff, clothes. He sold everything. And that was the farmer's place to come to. And he was a good guy too. I mean, he sold a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you did you join any veterans organizations at all?
No,
Never had a desire to?
no. I had guys bug me about it, but I just didn't. I had a thing about the National Guard. They used to try to get me that. Being with the Tennessee National Guard, we had a song we used to sing to them. I'm sure you don't want to hear it.
Oh, I don't know. Let's hear a few bars.
No, you won't want to hear it.
Now, you did stay in contact with some friends that you made in the service.
Oh yeah, these guys. One of these guys here, Ronald Kenyon. He's the guy sitting next to me.
Well, why don't you, and then you said the officer, Red Eye, you also stayed in contact? You
Yeah,
still are in contact?
But I just talked with him, and he's not doing too good. So I talked with his daughter, and she said he's not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like to start that. Well, I always liked him. I think one thing because he's an Indian, and he was a great guy. I mean, no taking it away from him.
Okay. If you can just hold this up and tell us where and when, if you remember where
Well,
and when that was taken.
this one was taken at Fort Devens. That I know.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you there?
20. I think I was 20
Okay.
because my birthday was right after I got in. I had a birthday.
Okay. I see one side is smiling and the other side you're not smiling.
Yeah, it don't matter. We're just as ugly as we ever were.
Okay.
Now, where are you in that, and who are the other?
All of these were taken to Fort Devens.
Mm-hmm. Now, which one is you in there? And
The lower right-hand
This one
corner.
over
and who is that to your?
That's Ronald Kenyon. He's from Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm. Do you still
And
keep
the
in
other
contact with him at all, or?
No, Joyce and I
We'll
tried
try to
finding
find
him on
him.
the internet, but
Mm-hmm.
there's Kenyons all over, but not where I wanted to. Not hit at the right age anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about the other two?
They're from one was from Fall River and one was from Boston.
Do you remember their names?
Yeah, this was Al Pelletier and this was this was Al Pelletier and this was his first name was Bob. His last name's gone.
Okay.
Okay. Now, would you tell us a little bit about this? You can put that down.
Well, I sent this to my mother, and I think I sent it at the same time I sent my father his cigarette case. It was a nice stainless steel case, and it had Iceland written on it, and we got that someplace. Like I say, if you'd have given us a month, we could have probably dug it up, but
Now that's a mirror?
yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you think your time in the service had an effect on your life?
Didn't change me any.
Made you a lover of Iceland.
Yeah, I know I've seen all I want to see of it.
You wouldn't go back for another visit?
No, no,
What other...
have no desire to go back there.
Mhm.
Did they ever bring any USO shows in there at all?
Oh yeah, none. Well, we had 3 or 4 of them came in, but they were never one of the like movie stars. Or nothing. They never came in there.
Mhm.
But they had good shows. I mean, they were good.
Were there other stories or anything you think you'd like to add that you have forgotten? Okay.
What
No.
about the ice skating on the water towers?
Hmm?
What about the ice skating on the water towers?
No, we weren't supposed to be up there.
Well, it sounds like you were anyhow. What happened at the water towers?
Well, this water tower was huge, and
This was in Iceland.
yeah, and it would overflow, and there'd be a big, huge cascade of ice right to the ground almost, and then, but not near the ladder. So we used to go up and slide around the ice on top. 'Cause it would freeze over. It would be, it would be. I don't know why I ever ran out of it, but it did.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your interview.
Okay.